Hey guys, Todd with Great Escape Farms here. I am reporting on an experiment or a test I had planned on doing over the course of a year. However, I've had a couple of epic fails here, and what I'm going to do is just report on it now. We're only 4 months in to kind of help you guys out, and I will again follow up in a year and give results of how these things operate over a year. So I'll explain the test setup here in a moment. Actually, let me go ahead and explain what I'm doing, and then I'll come back and give my 4-month results. Okay, so I went through and first I created a spreadsheet here, and what I have are the plant labels, and also did a couple pots here on the left-hand side. Across the top, I did the markers here. So we had the Marcal Quick Stick paint, which is actually over here, and I knocked that one out of the race early on, and I'll explain why in a moment. Then the Sharpie, which is here, then the Dura ink, then the garden marker, and then just a plain old ordinary black Sharpie there. So I went ahead and I tested all of these, and what I did is under each one in the matrix here, I did test the test number. So this was test 2 with this label, B with that marker, and test 2 again with the same label, and test C with a different marker. So each one has a different unique ID on it, and I have each one going all the way through. So test 5, F005, let's find that. Test 5, F005 is a black Sharpie with the plastic plant label 6 by 5/8. And if you'll notice, I have it written on each side. So I'm gonna have one side facing the sun, the other side kind of facing north where it's not getting much sun up here in the northern hemisphere. So I did that for all the plant labels here. You can see the different types I have. This is what I call tree tags here. I actually put that dangling in the wind on the branch on the tree. All the rest of these actually get plugged or pushed down into a pot somewhere. And then I also have pots. Again, I run a nursery business, so I label on the pots themselves instead of putting other things in. And the black Sharpies last anywhere from 6 months up to a year, not much beyond that. So the black Sharpie is on the bottom in this case. So this really shows up the silver here, which is also a Sharpie. I'm hoping that it lasts for a while. And I did the same thing on a gallon pot there. So now the experiment, they're all labeled. I'm gonna go ahead and put these outside, see how long they all last. Again, this is November 23rd. So I will check on them in the springtime, see how they look. And again, next fall, and give you guys a report, let you know about a year or so out. And I guess I would do a separate video after that if I have any other thoughts on these. But the remaining ones, you see I ordered large quantities here. So the tree tags, I have 1,000. These little plant labels here, which will probably go into the 4-inch pot, I have 1,000 of these. I have, I think, only 250 of these, even though it looks like a lot more. These are wood and they are biodegradable, so I need to make sure that they don't biodegrade within a year, but if they last 2 years or 3 years, then I'm good with it. And then again, just some of the ones here. So I'll go ahead and use these in the nursery business and see how I like them, how customers like them, as well as the different markers and how well they actually stand up to the elements. I wanted to show you one thing. This quick stick right here, it made it through the very first label, and then I decided to scrap it. And the reason I decided to scrap it, I got it all over my hands here. It got all over here. This is it right here. You can see I was unable to write neatly with it. Let me see if I can get this open with one hand. Yeah, I can. It's just got this great big old fat pen tip on it, and it writes like a soft Crayola crayon. So it's just very difficult to do any kind of precision writing. It just looks sloppy, looks messy, makes a mess out of everything all around. So I will not be using this thing as far as I'm concerned. I'm just going to toss this one in the trash. I have little use for this for plant labels. I'm sure there's some use for it in a warehouse or something else, but certainly not for little plant labels like what I'm trying to do here. Okay, so I have these out. I figured the best place to put them was right in the pot itself. That way I can move them if I have to. I do have the wooden ones in the ground just to get them in a little bit deeper. These are all here, the pots. Actually, I'm gonna move this back just to get full sun on those tags. Again, the backside will not get much sun, so we'll see if there's any difference there. And the one thing that is not here are the tree tags. And the tree tags I was going to put on a plant, but then I figured they're going to leaf out. So over here, I'll get a little bit of cover when during the summer, when we get the immediate overhead sun. So we're mid-December, and the tags here, not too much to report. I will point out that the silver Sharpie here is kind of hard to see, and you'll see that on the other tags over here as we come across, that the black shows up much better, but the silver, which is over here on this side, just doesn't show up all that great. And no real fading or anything yet, which is a good thing. Okay, so we are 4 months in, and you can see the orange tags here. Everything looks pretty good. That is the only place where everything looks good. So if we come back and we look at the pots themselves, we can see that everything looks pretty good except for test D, test 7D007. And as we look at the upper ones here, test 2D002 is starting to fade, and test F is starting to fade a little there. On this one, you can see over here on this side, so test 2D003 is almost completely faded, and test 3F003 is almost completely faded. The other two here look pretty good. And then on these tags, 5D005, it looks very faded. Everything else doesn't look too bad. And as we look here, you can barely even see, but this would be the D test right here where my thumb is going over. So the D marker is definitely a fail, which comes as a surprise to me because the Markel Dura Ink 15 was really rated rather high for the plant world, but it failed every single test except for the orange labels here. Let's see, I'm going to rate the black Sharpie as a fail for test 3F003, although I know the black Sharpie will fail by the time we hit the year mark because I have a good bit of experience with that. I've used that in the past. Everything else seems to be holding up pretty good. So like I said, I just wanted to get these results to you. We're coming into spring here, so everybody can have labels and stuff out there and know what to use. Basically, I know from experience black Sharpie is going to cause an issue, and obviously the Markel Dura Ink is going to cause an issue. So I'll report back here in the fall sometime, which will be the year mark, and we'll rate these overall. So with that, again, once I do the final test, I'll link in these show notes where it is. So please consider following us on our Odyssey channel, subscribing to our YouTube channel, and check out greatescapefarms.com. Thank you very much, and have a great day.